talking about adapting, we have to speak on, and praising Americans, we have to speak on Jesse Marsch being confirmed as the head coach of RB Leipzig, right? The Champions League Bundesliga squad. That's huge. I give a round of applause for Jesse, man. I mean, coming all the way from Chicago and Princeton, New Jersey, to be a head coach of the Bundesliga, and he kind of surpassed, I would think, I would love you guys' opinion of his mentor, Mr. Bradley, Coach Bradley. Gooch, you're the person who, I know how much you love Bundesliga, and B is a person who played in the Bundesliga. Do you think he'll be successful? And what do you guys have to say about that?
One, I'll say, Beasley, did you ever think one of your former teammates was going to end up coaching?
I did. But hey, things can happen. You gotta dream, and things can happen. So happy for him.
I think he found himself in a great situation with Red Bull brand, because they always be promoting from within the organization, right?
Consistent.
He went from New York to Austria. He's really going up the pecking order. And you see other individuals from the Red Bull brand even coming over to our Red Bull here in the States, et cetera. So I like that. I like how that brand likes to promote from within. I think that Jesse in Europe has gained a lot of respect, not just from a coaching's perspective, but from their players. From what I've heard, and I've never been coached by him, but from the reports that I've heard, that they truly look at him as a top coach, not just an American coach, right? And I think that's important that he gained that respect in such a short period of time. So congrats to him, man. It's awesome. I think he did essentially surpass Bob in regards to his
success.
Respect factor. No, not success, but respect factor in Europe, right? Because Bob, he went to Swansea. Before Swansea was in France and all these other places. But once he went to Swansea, it almost kind of erased everything higher in Europe. So I think Jesse has just been on a upward trajectory, and I think he leapfrogged Bob in that regard.
Yeah, this thing with Bob's situation in Swansea, he didn't get any backing. Right. He didn't get a transfer window. If I'm correctly, he didn't get the next coming transfer window for him to kind of solidify how he wanted to change the group in his way. With regard to Jesse, I think he's, to kind of piggyback what Gooch said, he's proven himself. It's not just, they do lift up within the motto of Red Bull. RB, I think he's supposed to say, but he's proven himself. If he wasn't a coach that has done the things that Gooch mentioned and yourself, Mook, that you guys mentioned, he wouldn't be offered this job.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So he's done what has been asked of him and beyond. And now he's going to a big club, Champions League club, and a chance to win the Champions League, not just be a spectator. He has a chance to win the Bundesliga. He has a chance to win the Champions League. They're always going to have a young, vibrant team. So he's familiar with the model, as you guys pointed out. Mm-hmm. So it's a good situation for him. And like people say, like Jesse was a former teammate, and he came in the national team a couple of times as assistant coach with Bob. But he always had that enthusiasm and that kind of desire, the passion of football. You see it in how he played, you see how he trained. And I have nothing but I don't have one bad word to say about Jesse. The way he's gone over to Europe and gotten respect, as Gooch said, not just from American people, but from the European eyes. And I think that's great for him and his family to move up the totem pole. And like I said, congratulations, Jess. Hopefully we speak soon, man. But yeah, we got to get you on the show. We got to get Jess on the show.
What I'm happy for is that he's going back to a club that he's familiar with as well, right? So you get his opportunity. He started as assistant coach over there, so you get an opportunity to kind of, be familiar with the journalists, be familiar with the city. So I think he'll be successful there. They're going to sell a lot of players this summer, so he'll have an opportunity to bring in his own players and spend some money. So maybe he'll turn around and buy Christian Pulisic or another player.
I think the most important thing is what Bees mentioned. Bob was lacking, which is support. I think he's going to be heavily supported by the club for his success, right? So he can succeed, and it's going to be amazing. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it. When I saw the news, I was like, nobody was really surprised, but you were excited for it, right? So Yeah, it's amazing to see what's going to happen in the future.
And the great thing is that, you know, the trailblaze, right? Now you have coaches in the United States who can look at him and say, listen, if he can do it, I can do it. Can you think on the top of your head, American coach here who's local? Or I can't think of too many who are coaching right now in Europe. But who do you think is next up? And another question is, can you see him coming back to coach the national team?
You want me to go? I'll go first, Gooch. And this might raise some eyebrows, but I see not just the next coach, but I think the way he wants to play, Greg Berhalter. Because if he gets a team and a squad that is accustomed to playing the way he wants to play, because a lot of a lot of teams don't play, or a lot of players don't play the way he wants to play. They're not comfortable playing that way. That's why sometimes it looks a little bit jaded. You know what I'm saying? But I think the way he wants to play can maybe fit some of the teams and clubs in Europe. So I think that if he has a good showing in this World Cup, we might not see him in 2026.
Wow.
I will say Greg's future success outside of this country is dependent on his current squad right now.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
If the U.S. don't do well, you can see him being locked down and coming back to an MLS squad. Facts. If they don't do well, the next coach I do see that would have a potential American, if he chose to leave, would be Jesse. That'd be a plug and play in regards to his stature, his success, and he's American, to keep that consistency. So if it's not Jesse as the next national team coach, or if the next coach to Europe isn't Greg, I'm kind of thinking now who's in the pipeline.
And he has said that he wants to coach the U.S. national team someday. Jesse, he has said in interviews. I don't know if he said it when I was on CBS, but he has said and mentioned.
You know who I'm forgetting?
Who?
Stevie, who's been coaching in Germany. Now he's moved here to the States. Stevie Cherundolo.
Yeah, big shout out to Stevie.
Shout out to Stevie. I've heard a lot of good stuff from him while he was coaching in Hanover. So I'm curious to see and interested to see how he's going to transition that now, being associated with LAFC and being the head coach of Vegas, and how that's going to manifest itself into something special for him. So that's a new young coach that we both played with, right? And love him as a player and a person. So I'm excited to see what he can do as a head coach.